All right. What's up, guys? I was literally doing the stream for like 10, 15 minutes there and realized I didn't manage the broadcast correctly. Let me make sure we have sound. I think we're good. If you guys could hit that like button, I got a really awesome live stream in store for you guys. If this TV is too loud, let me turn it down. I got Bloomberg on. I actually don't have the game on right now. All right, we do. Please hit that like button right now, and if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. The hell with 500. No, get me to 1,000 subscribers, and we're gonna keep delivering because you know what? Last week, we gave you some awesome ideas. Awesome ideas. If you're new at trading, you may not be able to take it upon yourself to be able to manage or really know what it is that you're looking at. And that's okay. Give it time. You got to stay in the game, do your research, get educated. We can help educate you. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you guys have any tickers, I want to know, what are you guys looking at? This is the point of this thing I'm building here, right? Because there should be a place for traders to go to that they don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get trade ideas, hang out with traders alike, go over trades. What are we seeing in the charts, right? What are our thoughts? The news, charts, all that fun stuff. I gave you guys we're looking back. I gave you guys a lot of big trades, and I'm going to go through a couple of them. We're going to look at the data. And yes, by the way, I am going to get a haircut. Sorry, my day was full of college football, NFL, and then this afternoon, well, really, I cleaned the house and stuff in the morning. College football, NFL, this stream. So tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, one of these days, maybe tomorrow afternoon, right? Maybe I'll get it done before things start getting busy, and I'll cut out a little bit early or whatever. So huge day on Friday. The market, that was a great opportunity to catch a short and kind of hang on that short. So let's get everything in order, right? This is a live. If you could see, I'm not going to be able to see your questions just yet because okay, there we go. What's up, bro? It should be fun. We don't have that much data other than the summary of economic projections, but I want to show you guys something. And if I'm wrong, can you guys let me know if you guys are seeing the same thing? Because I'm going to show you something right now that's happening. And let me make sure that everything is fitted on the screen correctly so you guys can see everything. Let me see here. Maybe that was a little bit too far. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Sorry, I was really trying to hurry with this. And it just, for some reason, it takes long. Like, I wanted to make sure the camera was going to stay on, make sure I dotted my I's, crossed my T's. Like I said, guys, it's a little bit of stuff, so I apologize. I thank you guys for hanging on. And we're going to get right into the ideas. If anybody, god damn it, I flippin' love you guys. Thank you for the likes. We got sound, we're good. Screen's good. All right. So, real quick, what I did Friday. All right, I had errands to run Friday morning, so I watched back the stream. In the first 10, even 15 minutes, I could see everything that I was missing. I came in Friday morning, I was in a rush, right? I left early in the morning. I didn't get back to my desk till like 8:45. I tried to set up the stream. I tried to, get a grasp on what I was going to do, get a grasp for what I thought the markets were going to do. And I was rushing myself, and I was rushing trades. Took a Tesla short or long, short, I think. Had an opportunity to, take profit, or it went up. Yeah, I had, there was a small profit on it, but I didn't take it. It was kind of, quick, and it was really small. It was, it might have been, 4 or 5% profit on Tesla, but, I stopped out, fortunately, right? I didn't cause myself to be in ruins. But NVIDIA was on the list. And I wasn't sure if it was the long or the short. What did I do wrong? I did not say to myself, Justin, what is the market doing? What is the market doing to help tell you what NVIDIA is doing? if we look at the SPY here, look at this, look at that big pullback. You know, the market was pulling back. Why would I think that Nvidia, without some type of catalyst or news or earnings or something to bring it higher, would separate itself from the market? That's all about being human. This is why programming in a computer, how to trade it, does not forget those things. And this is a difficult advantage that we got to remember, guys. We got to write it down. The basic things, and understanding when we are rushed, or if we get off of work early or whatever it is, and we are just trying to trade just to trade, we really need to realize that in and of itself and say, is there a clear trade here? Do you have a clear direction, up or down? For what reason? Where is your stop? Where are your targets? Why are you in the trade, more importantly? So I'm sitting here juggling back and forth this Nvidia trade. If you guys don't know, Nvidia was the play. Nvidia was the play Friday. Nvidia was down a fair amount. A fair amount. I want to say that it's correct that it's down almost 4%. But we look at this, guys. Look at the extent. Look at the follow through. This was the trade. I brought this to you. If you don't know, we trade live Monday through Friday. 7:30 to 4. I've got my sleep schedule pretty much back, especially on the weekend. I went to bed at like kind of late, but woke up really early, and I'm going to be getting through and getting things back on track. So Nvidia was the trade. I decided to go through Tesla, but what I want to get into real quick is the fact that so if you notice on a 3-minute candle how Tesla just sat around for a little while, right? It doesn't look like it on a 3-minute. Right, it doesn't look like it on a 3-minute, but I think I might have been using the 1 minute. And I needed to, and I failed to recognize this. Right? I failed to recognize that it's just sitting here chopping and chopping and chopping. Right? Just sitting up here. Like, it makes you want to take that long. But you know, the calm, cool collective already, you know, has a pre-market game plan. Would have said, okay, even if I'm looking at the 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, I don't care what time frame it is. I would have said, I want to start seeing this thing close up here, right? I want to see it start to close and make higher lows, right? This is a 1 minute. We can go to a 3 minute. I failed to realize this because I was trying to rush. Listen, guys, go back to Friday's stream, the live stream. Go what? It's like 10 minutes. It only takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because it all happens in a small period of time. I'm rushing. You can see the emotional state that I'm in, and that is it. That is the point that I'm getting to. I was emotional, whether I'm not mad or upset or I'm too happy, I'm too upset. That's not it. I'm emotionally trying to get a trade on and, you know, help you guys make money. Right, that is my goal. I'm here to try and help you guys. What's up, NASCAR? How you doing, buddy? I'm gonna get right into that question one second. So, with me not realizing, and I'm watching this back, I'm gonna look at him. He's getting emotional. Look at this clear trade. And what's funny is I can see on my phone or a laptop or something my screen, and I can see the picture better than what I see on the monitor. It's so weird. It's so weird, but I don't know if you guys have tried to do it before or not. Go back and look on a phone or something else, and the patterns are just clearer for some odd reason than a big, huge, you know, monitor. So, I was emotional. This didn't mean that I didn't stick to my stop loss or I had a horrible day. I just missed out on opportunity because I was not patient. Right at this time of Nvidia chopping around. Because what happened yesterday? In my mind, Thursday, Nvidia was chopping around Thursday, so I may have still had that choppiness in my mind. Look at this. It didn't really do nothing, right? Thursday didn't really do nothing. So I'm thinking to myself, okay. Oh, and I also said there was no volume. There wasn't hardly any volume the first few minutes. So I'm like, all right, there's no volume. I start questioning, is Nvidia the play? Well, I knew it doesn't matter. I wrote down the numbers. I said, if it breaks this, it's going down. And it's got like a good meaty chunk of bone there. That is the trade. 450 to 4, especially 449. You can see this price action here on 449, guys. You see how this is really thick of up and down this right here? See this area right here? This was the level. And it broke it and pretty much retested it. And that was a clear sign that, you know, look what followed. Look what really followed after that, guys. 449 was written down in my notebook. That was the level. That's the clear base right there. Right? 449. I knew it. I said Nvidia breaks and starts closing below it. It's on. So I was impatient. What happened was, real quick, I don't want to keep this video going too long. Keep you guys going. Let's get into trade ideas. But I didn't give it enough time. So what I did was I went over to Tesla. And me going over to Tesla takes me away from the idea and the trading plan that morning that I had, right? So I'm looking at Tesla, and then what do I see with Tesla? Why was I looking at Tesla? Well, look at the volume. Tesla had some nice volume Friday morning. So I'm like, okay, maybe Tesla's where I want to be. We have this, you know, previous resistance, support. We dropped right off the bell, right? And it had a fairly decent bounce back. I got short here because I was expecting this area right here, 234, right? Resistance, support. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about here. Double top, right? Support. I was looking to see if that would be resistance. It wasn't. It broke above it. I stopped out. Is what it is. And then I go back to Nvidia. Bang. Nvidia drops. Nvidia was the play. Nvidia was the play. I gave this out to you. This is why you got to join us Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. I don't charge you guys anything. The only thing I do charge you is I'm a crackhead about likes and subscribing because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. This is just one. What else did we give out very early? I've done this a long time. The one good thing that I can say about myself is I'm really good at identifying opportunity before the opportunity has already did what it's supposed to do. What was the other one? I know you guys know. JP Morgan, very early on this trade. Guys, I called out JP Morgan here. We called it out literally right here. Right there is why I said, guys, JP Morgan. JP Morgan. This is a big move for JP Morgan. This is a big move. Look where it went to. This was the range that I said it's going to act as resistance. We're going to get into the range, and then that's the top side of the range. Look, to a T. Identifying opportunity before it does it. That's important. That is hard. It's not hard to do, but this telling you guys, JP Morgan's on my watch list. I'm looking for a loan to get in the top side of this range. That takes time. That takes the education, the chart. That's something that's going to take some time. Maybe you get it sooner than others, you know, but you're not going to be able to identify this stuff the first 6 months, maybe even to a year. Maybe the rare few, maybe they will, but this is all I ask, right? All I ask is a like and subscribe and come join and post your watch list. You know, ideas, things that are happening. So let's get into it. So I just wanted to go over a brief glimpse of some of the call outs that we called out last week. All right. And we were watching energy, and we said that we were looking for a pullback in energy, and we're going to go through all of them. I'm going to go through all of them. All right. So let's talk about Powell, and then we're going to go on a chart. So Wednesday, we have Powell. We have the interest rate decision. So we have, this is what I want to show you. Let's go to look at the 2-year. Look at that. It was a huge pop just not too long ago. I don't know if anybody else took notice to this, but guys, we shot up to damn near 5.5 on the 2-year. I didn't hear anybody talking about it, and currencies didn't really change. I was actually doing a little bit of I was kind of, because if you're going to see a big move, and like even in the S&Ps, if something is that big, you're going to see a move in currencies, and then which would translate to the markets. And I didn't see it. I looked at the yen. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just trying to get the stream out to make sure everything works. Sorry. I know this is not professional, so I do apologize. All right, there we go. So, um, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, and I'm looking at Bloomberg, and I don't, it just went away. But some other currencies are going. I don't know what SGD is, USD SGD. Maybe that's, um, I have no idea. I don't know. But the 2 year is already pulling back off of it. That's a huge gap up. That was a huge gap up. If we go to, as we go down the yield curve, the longer end, it's not as bad, but it's still pretty damn big. All right, that's still a pretty big jump. So I'm going to keep an eye. Look at this gap up. That's pretty big. From you're talking 4.4 to 4.5, and this is on a 30 year. But as we get to that 2 year, um, it's huge, guys. Look at that. Look at this gap up, right? 5 to 5.5. That's a half of a percent. That's 500. That's 50 basis points. That's 50 basis points. That's a 50 basis point gap up. I don't know what's going on. If anybody has news and can shed some light on it, um, that's cool. We have another IPO too, guys. I think it's Instacart as well that we're going to get into. So, Powell economic data. So we do have some housing data Monday and Tuesday, or it's Tuesday. All right, so yeah, you have building permits. I'm pretty sure we had some housing data on Tuesday, though. I could have swore we did. Maybe it's just Tuesday and Wednesday. So 30-year mortgage rate, and then um, building permits, okay? And then obviously over the rest of your countries are getting inflation rates. So these yields are going to be important, and to whether or not, what's going to happen with Powell? Let's talk about what happened last week. Retail sales, industrial production, and not just us, all blasted up. They had a better than expected number, right? That means the consumer is still not impacted with rates, and that's okay. There is a lag effect. We know that. But it's almost like the consumer is still yet affected because you have these numbers, not just here, but around the world, jumping up higher than expectations. So I don't understand if the expectations and consensus and forecasts, do they consider school starting? That's one of the only things I can think of is school starting. I'm sure there is more as far as a seasonality on why those numbers would tick up, because that'll go into clothing, that'll go into school supplies. You know, maybe the schools are spending more money on computers, and you know what I mean. Like, so that little effect has an effect. Um, it wasn't surprising to me, is what I'm getting at. So, do they take into a effect, or do they take it upon themselves to like notice that and say, yeah, there's a reason seasonality wise why these numbers would tick up, because the first thing we can think of is school. We're going to see if Powell decides to raise interest rates or not. All right, so all week, what am I going to be focused on? I'm going to be watching the CME Fed tool, which is a prediction where traders think in a percentage base wise, like where do they, like what is the percentage that they think Powell is going to raise rates, right? We have the summary of economic projections. This is going to be important. Do they raise or lower or keep it where it's at, which I'm sure they're just going to keep it where it's at, the year-end December target for where they would like the yields to be. I think nothing changes. I'm going to be honest, nothing changes. But if we still have two more FOMC meetings. There is a potential that if we continue to get higher retail sales and CPI continues to go up, if things start heading in the upwards direction, I promise you, one or the first or second meeting, Powell will give us another 25. I promise you that. If these numbers continue on the trajectory that they are from the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of data that we've gotten, I promise you he will give us another 25. I promise. He knows there's a lag effect. He is more concerned with price stability than he is anything else, because he knows that he can lower rates. It's just how quickly can he lower rates. I mean, obviously, he can lower them as quick. All he has to do is go to this damn stand and pretty much say, hey, you know, we're lowering rates. You know, what does that mean? Do we go back down to 3, 2.5, 4? Well, not 4, but you know, where are we at? 3.2, right? 3.25, 3.5, 3, 2.8. You know, so more concerned with inflation, and we need it. What's the third thing? Did you guys notice anything? Did you notice all these CEOs retiring? That might be the top. That's their second opportunity to take their retirement at a decent amount, right? At a comfortable amount where they haven't had such a, you know, a 12, 13, 14, 20, who knows what type of drawdown, right? They've gotten a second chance to get out, right? That is the pros versus Joes. That is smart money versus dumb money. Knowing what is coming, what we have coming ahead, right? Versus what we have at hand right now versus what we have coming up. Right now we have a whole slew of rate hikes coming through. You have not just us, but the whole world slowing down. Prices are up, so people can spend less. If they're spending less and spending more on these things, so they have less money, they're not going to be, you know, nobody's, unless someone absolutely is foolish enough to get a home at these rates at a high price, right? At these high prices, you know, that's your chance. That was your chance. So that's going to pretty much give you the forecast for the second half of the year, which is probably to the downside, right? Doesn't mean it is. I don't know. We don't know. But while it's there, they're getting out. What was it? BP, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Starbucks. Don't mistake me on that. But you know what I mean? These CEOs are done and retiring because they've gotten their opportunity to pretty much take it at previous highs. And that's what they're doing. All these asset prices are pretty much inflated. We know what's coming down the pipeline. So let's get into some trade ideas and stuff, guys. I'm going to be watching yields. I think that's absolutely insane, and I want to know why 5 to 5.5%, or if this is a misprint here. This is crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I did have some excitement down here around my place. We had some F-22s and stuff. I think it was because of the Argentina president coming in to talk with Joe, and I think I'm talking you know, F-22s, the Ospreys, and you know, all that. I'm not going to get out all kinds of information. A couple big real big long helicopters. So I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure he is in town. Netanyahu is in town right now, because that's the only. I said it's either you know, a group of people getting together, like, or there's something going on, because it's just too highly populated to be able to do tests. They don't do that shit here. They'll do it in the desert. They'll do it somewhere where there's cornfield stuff. They're not going to do that kind of stuff. And what was going on, they're not going to do that in a highly populated area if they don't have to. That's safety, right? Safety is the number one concern. Something happens, you know, you don't want it to happen in a high populated area. You can practice that stuff in other places and not have to have anyone vulnerable. So let's get into it. Do you guys have anything you guys are watching? So last week, NVIDIA, JP Morgan, I'm sure there was a couple more. I'm going to give you guys my watch list. So the SPY. The SPY is at an easy level. Let's make sure I wasn't going too long. 23 minutes. I'm sorry. Let's start with the SPY. So I'm going to be watching the S&Ps. Obviously, the Qs. We had a really nice bounce. In volume Friday afternoon. So if I go to a 5-minute, and what I'm going to do is ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so, for those of you that are just joining us. So we had a really nice pickup in volume buying off of that level, right? They bought the heck out of this thing right off the close. There was a lot of orders sitting at this level. This level is so clear, and a lot of the stocks that I'm going to go through, and if you guys have any, throw them in the chat. I'd love to put them in. You know, whether it's AMD, whatever you guys want to look at, throw it in. Maybe do it for me. Maybe you're seeing something that I'm not seeing, and it's got a really good setup on it. So very clear level here at 443. 443 on the S&Ps is the area we're going to watch. Right now, we're about flat. We have a small gap up. There's a small gap up. I don't know how, right? Because if yields just gapped up to 5.5% on a 2-year, how in the heck is the S&P's gapped up? That's that coincides. Here you are, right there. Previous double top to the left, right here. Previous double top. All right, so this is our area. So let's dig into this. You guys have to dig into it. So if we take, because you want to know where your RSI and your MACD is for the obvious reasons. Guys, again, if you don't know and you don't join, this is why you guys need to join us if you're new here. I told you guys we were looking for a bounce, but everybody in chat will tell you we were looking for a bounce to get this RSI and MACD higher to make a higher low if we're going to go see downside on the weekly. We were looking for it on the daily to coincide with the weekly chart. Understanding and learning how to read charts. Like really being a market technician with the charts that are at hand. This is why I can tell you guys all the time, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I see, blah, blah. Right now I think we're about 13% off the highs. Like, I'm going to have a lot of cool stuff here coming up as far as these charts. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Now, again, this is all going to dictate whether we get bought off this level or if we sell off. So if we break 443, the SPY breaks 443, maybe we get news, something happens, maybe Powell doesn't even raise rates or do anything. Maybe he talks about the balance sheet, which is another thing you guys got to watch for. Remember, if all these CEOs and other CEOs that we don't even know of are going to retire at this second, like one of their last opportunities at this area, if the big boys are expecting more downside for the rest of the year and they're retiring, that's going to be liquidity gone. And also, the Fed's balance sheet, they've been working on it. The Fed's balance sheet is like this. It is declining. That is liquidity being sucked out of the system. All right. So 443. Sorry, I thought I had the arrow. U.S. believes China Defense Ministry has been removed from his post. Okay. Defense Ministry of China has been removed from his post. This is why, like, come on. I mean, I get it, whatever. That's none of our business, but still, it's like, you would think somebody would say, hey, no, they don't operate like that, and this is why you can't and shouldn't do business with them. Anyway, that's my own personal opinion. Anyway, so, let's see here. This RSI, guys, on the weekly is pretty high. I'm on the daily right now. I think we can get a bounce. I'm still looking to get up to this area at like 62. So if I think that, and we are, that's a pretty solid volume. Did you guys know Friday also was OPEX? Not only OPEX, I think it was 15 years. Wait. Yeah, it was some. So anyway, it was an anniversary for Lehman Brothers on Friday also. We're going to have to see with rates, guys. I'm sorry to get this thing boring. If you guys could, hit that like button, subscribe. And whatever tickers you guys have, any ideas, throw them in the chat. 443, let's do it. I'm sorry, I apologize. So, look how clear this level is. Look how clear as day it is. Where is 443? 443 is right here at this double top. And I've had this gray box here since back here, actually. It was back here. So this is what we're going to watch for. And again, as you can see, we're trying to hold this level, right? What I'm curious to know is if we do get a bounce and you do break above 445, then your zone will be up at 440 or 448 again. Like, where is it that we're going to make resistance? Because we're coming down for whatever reason. We don't know yet. We don't know. This is pretty much a pullback. But if you want to look at it in longer term, I said it last week, guys. This weekly chart is pretty telling. All right. It's pretty telling. Your 38.2 Fibonacci is sitting right here. We still have a gap here. We still need to make this area support. We'll talk about that later on down the road. We need a reason to get there, and we need a reason to break that area. So 443 is what I'm going to be watching on the S&Ps. There is also news in China again. There's some things going on. Where am I going to look to get to? I want to see us get if 443 does not hold. So what do I expect Monday into Tuesday? Guys, unless we have news, I don't expect much. I don't expect much. If we get a bounce, I will be looking to take that bounce maybe to 446 and reject. Maybe if we can get there. Right around this, it's like 445.50. So everything that I'm going, all these, this list of stocks and these charts, they're really nice, and it's all going to depend on what the S&Ps do. It is. We're stuck between the 50 and the 100 day. So if we go to the daily chart, have we put in a retest? If we've broken the 50 day, are we going to try to catch a bounce to make that 50-day resistance? It's a possibility. Or do we take the 9 EMA and make it resistance? I think we're going to get a bounce here. I do. I think we're going to get a bounce. The market, I'm pretty sure, knows what the Fed's going to do. Right? My question is if there is a reason why we would get a technical bounce, right, to put in a higher low here, right, to get up into here. Now, the 50 day is going to be coming down kind of because of the sharp action that we had. I still want to see if we can put in a higher low there, right? I want to see if we can get to pretty much right here at 446. All right, 446. This is the prior support, resistance, support, breaks up, and then we break it. So 446 is what I want to see resistance. But I'm more so paying attention to where we open Monday into Tuesday. Monday, I think we just chop. Tuesday, possibly the same thing again if we don't have news. Upside target is the obvious, right? 50-day moving average, right? We're going to look to see if we get a bounce. We're going to take it to 446. At least I am. 445. 446, right? And we just walk it up. All right, downside, I don't think we break this level. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think we break it for no reason. It's going to take either the Fed to give us another 25. Did we pause last weekend? That's what I want to know. Did we pause last time? Because Powell said he also wanted to pause 25, pause 25. What if he surprises us with another rate hike? If he does, 445 is our resistance level. Let me get out of the SPY. Let's move it on. I mean, you guys can see this. It's pretty clear, right? This level is pretty clear on a daily at 445. So if we get a bounce, as of right now, I'm not going to play the SPY itself, unless there's no stocks and no news. We have Ford and GM. So you guys know they said no to the offer. They've still said no, so they're on strike. Let's just get into it. It's like I unless I have to like scout the SPY or something, I'm gonna be looking. Let's go to the first one. All right, Apple's been really weak. Let's look at Apple. Where did Apple start from? Apple started from down here at the beginning of the year. Well, pretty much, yeah, the first of the year. If you guys can't see this, I'm going to zoom in. So this is where I've drawn my fib from the point that in which it's been in an uptrend. Now this is going to see if it can. This Fibonacci from the low to the high is only a Fibonacci to go, which would be a measurement of a pullback of the upside to continue higher. So what I also need to do is take that Fibonacci from the high to the low if we're going to go to the downside. So I want you guys to keep that also in mind if anyone here is new. So Apple has, I didn't write it down, but I don't really need to. Apple has a clear resistance area up here at 177. If the SPY is able to get a bounce, I will be watching for Apple. Maybe I buy 2 months out, a month out. I will get short. Look at the volume coming in, right? Volumes are coming in. We didn't get it up there, is what it is. You've already turned this area into resistance, right? Support. Resistance. You double topped it there. I will be watching. It's like a 50-cent range, 177.25 to 177.75. Right? I like more the 177.75. Right? Meet in the middle, 177.50 area. I'm going to watch it as it gets up here. We've had a nice bounce. So what you have here is a pullback almost to the 32 fib, but we really haven't. You have a double bottom back here. The downside will be this area back down here. And you have a previous support, pivot high. So if the SPY starts to bounce, which I think we might, does Apple start also trying to bounce back to the 23.6 fib? Does it try to bounce back to 180 and pull that 50-day down? Does it look what else is right there at 180, guys? Look at the 100-day. The 100 days there also. This is what I'm looking at. If we do not break the lows of 173.50, maybe I start to get long at 173.50, get some time on it, and see if we can hit this 50-day or 100-day. It's going to hit one of them, right? You're made. Let's also see what is also at hand. What's also going on here? All right, this thing is oversold. Why did I do that? This thing is oversold, like a lot. So if we look at the RSI, Start the week. To start the week, I really don't have. I'm going to be watching a lot of things. I'm going to wait to see if we have plays on Friday and FNLO. I will get into that in 1 second. There's like everything that I'm going to cover here is everything I'm going to be watching, pretty much. You've put in a lower high or a higher low on your RSI. So with that's. I'm sorry because this mouse is so awful. I can't see why. I don't see why Apple could not hold this level again to try and get a bounce and maybe meet the 50-day and put in a lower high on the RSI, right? Can it get back up to the 60 level, right? Well, let's go to the weekly because you want to cover your grounds. If you want to learn how to chart and really understand and get conviction and have confidence in your trades in a direction, right? What would that also do? If we could get a nice bounce. If we could get a nice bounce this week in Apple, you could potentially, and I'm talking even longer term, you could probably put in a lower high. Maybe we get a decent bounce. Maybe this gets bought to put in a lower high on the weekly to get possibly ready for a test of the 50 weekly moving average, right? Where is that at? That's at the 50% retracement. I mean, Apple is it's a safe stock. There was news with Apple that their Pro Max 15 phone has already been in high demand, specifically the Pro Max. We just got retail sales. We just got industrial production. Everything is still up. People are still buying. It does not seem to be impacted. People don't seem to be impacted by these hikes yet or, with high prices and all that fun stuff. So, understanding by looking at the weekly chart, it's going to help give you a trend. Like, right? If we're going to go down, we should be able to get a bounce, put in a lower high, right? That's relative strength should start to die out because nobody's going to want to be holding the bag, right? Nobody's going to want to buy the top if you're smart. There will be buyers because there are people that just buy. That they shut up and they buy. No matter what's going on. If it's going up or down, they just buy because they're saving money and they're building a long term. Ultimate target on Apple will be 170. I think we retest 170. I think we can get short off of a bounce up at the 100-day moving average this week if we have a reason to go down. If we have a reason to go down. Friday was pretty much out of nowhere. It did not surprise me, though. Let's go to, what else do we have? Meta, guys. Let's go to Meta. And if you guys could, you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe. I hate to keep saying it, and that'll be the last time I say it. I thank you guys. And if you guys have anything, please throw it in the chat. I'm going to be watching Ford, GM. I'm going to be watching the banks. I'm going to be watching gold. I'm going to watch silver, actually. There's a really nice setup on silver that I really haven't heard anyone talk about yet. And I'm going to get into that. I do have a leap on TLT. I had a feeling that it was a little, I should not have gotten into it. I don't know why, but I wasn't like too enthused about getting into the trade like I was 2-3 weeks ago when I made a thumbnail Sunday night, Monday night, and I said, this is it. Like, if you want to get long TLT to make a nice trade, now is the time. I don't feel that same way as I felt then. And it's apparent because it's pulled back, right? And I said to myself I was going to stop out of it when it got to an area. So I might stop out. I don't know. Maybe I average down. Maybe I average down and get more time. You know, I don't know. So I will look at the chart and then I'll make my decision. Meta. Meta's got an area. It broke 350, guys. This is going to be a... If we get downside in the S&Ps, Meta is a stock I'm going to want to be short. So I said 310. This is another stock we called out to the long side. I said 307. It was like 307.50 and then 310. All right. I got to go to the weekly chart because we got to see what the technical levels are. You have to, right? Okay, still relatively strong. Let's go to the daily. Right? Still relatively strong. So look here. Right? Look at Meta, right? And then I take you back to Apple's daily chart. You tell me which one you want to be short and which one you want to be long. Right? Look, 39 versus 50. Yes, Meta can get a bounce, and I think it does bounce, but I'm going to get short the bounce on Meta. Right? I don't know what's going on here. So, if you don't do that, if you don't look at, even if you don't look at weekly, but if you don't look at the daily and look at your MACD, and like the things you want to notice on MACD is when you're getting that divergence, when the stock's putting in a new low and the MACD and RSI are putting in a higher low, right? That's divergence. Moving average, convergence, divergence. Okay. So and you'll more so see it. You know, you can see it on a daily chart, but you want to, like, on your MACDs. Me personally, as far as trading, you know, you'll kind of see it on a trend reversal on the daily, like Tesla. If you would have noticed, and I'll go back and show you, you would have noticed that the downside that we had a while ago, last winter, whenever it was, last spring and into winter, you would have noticed that the bottom was in on Tesla at like whatever it was like 100, something like that. You would have noticed because you would have seen a lot of these signs that said, hey, we need to be long. All right, we need to be long. So Meta is one that I feel like is still a bit like, it's still a bit strong. I would much rather be long Apple, even though it's weak. And I'm talking just for a bounce, you know, not long-term buying or anything. I want to be short Meta. So let's go to Meta, and we could just go to like a 4, even we'll start with a 4-hour. So I'm sorry, dude. I got to get better at this. I apologize. It broke its 50-day, right? It's just been sitting here. It was making it resistance. It finally got above it, and then that was it. That the sellers came in and said that was our chance to get out while we can. And I still think Meta is putting in its ranges. If you joined us here on the desk Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 is when we trade live right here on YouTube. Ivy League Trading, youtube.com. I had said this is just a consolidation area before we move to the next higher area, like which is a range that it'll sit and chop around. You'll buy the low, short the high, or we get a next level, to the downside. But I said it was around like 270 to 316, and then we go to like 320 to 340, right? You just bring up the daily chart and it'll show you. This is the level I'm watching, 350. This was previous resistance. It was previously support. It has now broken. It's now broken it. So as you can see here on a 15-minute chart, how clear as day, right? Look at that resistance, right? Look at that resistance. Very strong resistance here. I got to get a new mouse. If anybody wants to donate a new mouse, because I don't feel like buying new stuff. Nice double bottom here, right? Had nice relative strength. This resistance, this gold area is the area I'm going to look to say, hey, if the S&Ps break 443, Meta is a stock I want to be short. Meta's a stock I want to be short. It's clear as day where the weakness can come in. That's something that still has some more downside. Let's dig in further. Where could be our targets? Why would we short it? I mean, technically, do you guys know where any of the retracements levels are from this whole entire move? Right? I mean, I could go from the close. Right? It's not going to come back because there was a fundamental change, right? When you have news, it's going to trump fundamental technical analysis. But as you can see here, right? Look at this. Support, resistance. Let me click so you guys can see it. Red, right? Resistance, right? Breaks up above it, holds it as support. Resistance, breaks up, support. Curls, boom, gap up. Right at it. It stays on the fibs. Where did they draw the fibs? Right back to where it sold off at. So if you would have just drawn the fibs with nothing on your chart, none of this forward price action, it would have went back to where it started to sell off from that earnings, right here. And that's where we're at. 327 was the high, pretty much, right? Where the close is. The close is at like 320, 321. I know it's a little hard to see, right? But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't say, hey, I'm just going to randomly do it from where it sold off. But it's making that recovery. As you can see, it just can continue to go. So where would it go? It would go back to where it came from, right? Use it for the future. So Meta is something I'm going to look to be short. And again, this is just going to be a trade, right? This is going to be a trade. I'm going to be looking at I got a couple more for you guys. Look at that resistance. Look, resistance. Breaks up, rejects it. Breaks up, rejects it. And then you finally get above it, and it finally holds. This first hold here was a sign. Okay, it got that nice bounce. Comes back. They try. Nope. We held it already. Came in, right? And then Friday. So we're back here. We're back at square one. Meta's back at square one. Where are we looking to get to if we get short? 295.50. Right? I'm gonna walk it down. What you have is a gap. You still have a gap right here. So if you can't see that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mess up the charts because that's what happens with this mouse. Come on, man. I do apologize. So you do have somewhat of a gap here. It hasn't quite closed it yet. So you can see how it started to curl itself back down. So there's relative weakness starting in Meta. Right? It hasn't started yet. It's still been holding up at the 50-day. So Meta's one of them. All right, let's keep going. I'm sorry. Tesla. Tesla back up to where its previous high. Tesla's back up to the previous high. I think Tesla is a bit overdone. I know a member in here had said, hey, Tesla may take off. It may. Let me cover my grounds. I think Tesla is overdone. I think Tesla's overdone. And I think we start to see the sell-off Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday. I do. I think it's gone a little bit too far, too quick. If I pull in a daily, oh my gosh, that's all right. I'm just gonna stick to. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so I am pivot high, resistance. I needed to clear my charts up a little bit. Oh my god. I promise I will get better at this. I'm sorry. I'll get better at it. I think this level breaks. I do. Right? If I get the opportunity to get short Tesla up here at this gap fill, I will be watching it. And I don't think we get the gap fill just yet. I don't think that gap fill is coming in just yet. Unless we have some type of news, I think Tesla, I think we do get a little bounce because, again, this thing's at 61. It's not too bad. So it's either Tesla is going to pull back and make a lower or a higher low, or it's going to, possibly get back up here to 72 area. Hell, maybe it gets back up here. Right? So these are the two options that we have, that it puts in a higher low on the daily chart, signaling a longer term sell-off, or this thing needs to pull back now to go higher, right? To bring in buyers. If this thing's going to go higher, it needs to bring in buyers some way or another. So what does that mean? That means it's got to pull back, right? It's got to be enticing for buyers to get in. And if it doesn't, and it just has a nice pop, I'm telling you right now, I will be short to get that move back down to where it does try to find buyers. What's the second thing? There's more. Now, I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see it pretty clearly. I want to help you guys be able to read a chart correctly, right? That's why I'm doing this. So, if you have a gap above that 50-day, you had a gap and go. When is it before you turn around and make it support? It's been resistance. You have not turned it into support. You just had a simple gap and go. Now, what do we have? I have more tails and mixed with red candles than I do just a solid green. I didn't even touch my mouse at that time. The fan touched it. The fan's breeze touched it, and it went. I got to get a new mouse. Why would it do that? Sometimes Thinkorswim frustrates me, guys. It really does. So, Tesla, to me, is getting sold off up here, guys. I think this is it. It is not... there's not a catalyst to get it into this gap. Just like the S&Ps. The S&Ps have a gap right there, too. There's not a reason to get up into the gap just yet. 4-hour chart. You did have a nice break and retest of this area, kinda. It was just... The other way I like to think about it is you don't have enough. That little tail is not enough to support all this price action to get it higher. It's like going to collapse. It's going to collapse, right? If you were to we broke it. If it were to sit there and consolidate at this area, which it didn't, it just gave you this little ass tail. That's it. That's not going to hold up a whole, years of price action, right? It's going to have to pull back to it, bring in buyers, get bought up, sell off, and hang out in that area to have enough liquidity to bring it higher, to hold those bids up, right? It's another way to look at it. What am I going to look at? I'm looking for a pullback if we cannot break into the gap, right? If we cannot break into that gap, which is pretty much right here, right? It's pretty much, nope, right here. So we're there. We're at it right now. No, don't do that. Oh, well, I'm just going to put it right there for right now. you got so this is mixed, right? So I think we still need our pullback into here. You still need a pullback in the 259, 260. 259.50 area, right? This turquoise line, this line here, 259. All right, we haven't gotten it yet. We also have a pretty high RSI. It's not extremely high. Again, we've went over it. It's not extremely high, but it's still either it's if for it to go higher, it's got to pull back to bring buyers in, to bring that RSI down for it to make the next leg higher. Or it's going to put in a lower high on the daily RSI to bring it down like that's it. Like we're coming back down to the 100-day moving average. Hello 242. Right? You haven't made the support level on the 50-day. This red box right here is your 50-day moving average. Look at it. Right? Your resistance at the 50-day. You can see that the 50-day was curling up just like this, right? The 50-day is curling up. So if the 50-day is curling like that, that's telling you the 50-day is flattening and starting to anchor itself down. In a sense, it's not sitting up like this, like like it's a bullish thing. You can see the stock as the 50-day was curling up right here, right? Let's look at it. Let's look at it, right? This is the daily chart. You see it? Well, it's been above it, so I was wrong. But it's still, what did I say? It's still curling. I can tell from the price action that the 50-day was curling. Like, it was just curling. So, it's got to hold it. It's got to pull back. Either way, for it to be long, you got to look for the pullback. Right? Either way. If you think it's just going to come down because it's just overbought, whatever, that's one reason. Or for it to continue higher, it's got to pull back to bring buyers in. So I have no reason to be bullish as a trade during the day, not talking long term. I don't have a reason to be bullish. I have a lot of reasons to be short. If I can't find a single reason to be bullish on this thing, that tells me I need to be short. That's a damn good trade. But when does it happen, right? If you're playing options, you got to get the timing right. That's also important. So you got that's what also helps with getting time on your options and getting in at the right price, right? Getting your entries right, stopping out at a decent area wherever you are comfortable with, where you think the stock can go, for it to tell you that you're wrong. Where is that area where you're like, okay, it's here, I'm wrong, I'm out? Where is that area? Is it the gap? Right? Is it above the gap fill, or is it like 50 cents, 80 cents, a dollar? Is it at like this area? Right? You got to ask yourself, is it like if it gets up to here? Because you see the wick. So could we give it to like this area right here at 281.29? And what do you have there? Right? This you guys can do this to any chart to help you to look at all the sellers that are up here. Look at that volume. You did have one bar here that matched that sell volume, but you got two other big boys right there. Like, yo, you got to get through us before you get to this one. I have two sellers right here ready to whoop its ass. Do you see what I'm saying? See it? Boom. Boom. And then, so this is how you can tell a lot of, if this thing's really going to be strong, you had that volume match, right? It matched it. But I also got two soldiers sitting right here too, right? Ready to go. As you can see, they're ready to go. They're already with it. Like, yo, what's up? You trying to go up? All right, bet. We're here. What's up? What's up? Go ahead. Go up. Go up and see if I don't fucking just, like Pinky. You guys ever seen Friday? Friday after next? I swear to, you know what I mean? Just like Pinky, snapping. Just go in that gap. I dare you. Go in that gap and see if I don't short the shit out you real quick. You feel me? Hit that like button. All right, subscribe if you haven't already done so. That's what's going on right now. These are the little things, and again, You know, its blood pressure is pretty high. Look at it. It's already starting to roll over. It's already. What's it already doing? It's already putting in a lower high as the stock closes higher, right? So, I don't mean to sit here and break down Tesla to a T, but you got to. You got to go through charts and really break them down and say, hey, what do I have to be long? What do I have to be short? Let's count them up. Which one outweighs what? Right? And I'm talking, you know, in the median term, right? The next, like, 2 weeks, week, right? I don't just mean tomorrow, but the next week or two. And look at the sell volume already ramping up on it. All we need is it to get up to this gap, and I'm getting short, right? It officially closed lower also, right? Look at the close. Where did we close? Right? You closed higher. It closed higher, and then we officially got our pullback. Right? It officially did not close up in that area. Like this so far is the high. So now I'm going to see if I can get a bounce back. Let's go to a fit. Now we take it to like a 30-minute, 15-minute chart and say, where's my resistance? Where's my resistance? Well, right there. There's our resistance. There's our resistance. 273. 274. Right? So what can we use tomorrow? So what I would use tomorrow is to see where we open up at first off. Where are we opening up? Right? Am I going to get a second opportunity to be short Tesla here? Will I have that opportunity at 274? I'm going to call it. Yeah, 274. Is it going to give me 274? If it does not give me 274, what I'm going to look for is yesterday's low. I'm going to look for yesterday's low to crack. Or Friday's low. I'm sorry. All right. Let me just pull this up. Now, I could use an hourly chart. But, you know, you have, you know, here's your low. 271. Right? I mean, honestly, you have support right here, guys. This is your support level. 271.50 area is a support level, technically. I gotta bring down the time frames because, you know, it's just I'm working with a smaller. I'm only working with like 4 or 5 days here, so I gotta bring the time frame down. And I hope is this helping you guys at all? Is this helping anyone? Like being able to identify exactly what's going on, right? If all these stocks are on a move, where is the pullback at? Where is your like 50% retracement from that move higher? And then where is the retracement? You know, on that pullback, you can measure the pullback as well. So we're gonna look to see what Tesla continues to do. Right, this is your inflection point right here. Right here at 270, it's like it's an area again. Here's one thing you can also do, and you'll probably see something different if you don't do this. You're going to be able to see something different. Watch this. I promise. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it. Right? What do we see? It may not set up right now for it, but let me see here. So if we take pre-market and after hours off, what do we see here? We have a clear double bottom at 270. All right? And then we have resistance right here at 270, 275. Listen, this is Tesla. Here's what you guys got to understand about Tesla. If you already don't know, a lot of you may already know this. You got to give Tesla an area. Tesla is a volatile stock. So that means it's not just going to stick 270, 250 and bounce. 270, 254 and bounce. It's going to be about 30 cents, you know, depending on what type of day it is. Does it have news? Is it volatile? Right? But I'm still sticking with the levels that I have. Look, support, breaks it, resistance. Gaps up. Support. So what I'm looking at is right here. Really, it's like right here. It's tough. it's tough, right? It's not putting in a nice pattern. It doesn't really have a nice pattern other than this, right? Previous resistance right here, support, resistance, breaks back above it, holds it as support, 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 support. And it's bidding higher now. So if I'm going to look for a pullback, let's see on this chart now. Let's see if I add it back. Where does that bring us? That brings us into the range, right? 270, 250. You know what I mean? That was what? Wednesdays, like, pivot high, kind of this area. Again, if I were to bring up, like, here's the thing, right? Just because you don't see it on a 15-minute, all right, what's it look like on a half hour? Doesn't that look a little bit better now? See what I mean? See how they're closing there now? Let's go to an hourly or a 2-hour, right? Even a 4-hour chart, right? So it takes time to go through these things. But more importantly, you broke above this. Now, longer term, we broke above it. You made it support. But what about this area? We have this whole area that does not have any type of price action right now, right? From 259.50, from 259.50, right? From here, you don't have anything from here to here. So I could say, right, as of right now, Tesla's trading in this range. It's a range. Just like JP Morgan, which I'm going to show you right now. I'm still looking for a pullback. Listen, come join us in chat. I know I took a little too long with that, but I don't think people do enough like examining of what the hell is actually going on. Right? I don't think people do enough of it. Like going to the weekly and saying, okay, the weekly is at a high RSI, the daily is down low. That's telling you you're going to get a bounce to see if like that weekly chart can put in a higher low. Guys, we've been saying it for this, like a lot of stocks, right? If I go to the SPY, right? This is why we said last week and stuff, we were looking for a bounce. It's look at the weekly chart. Look at this RSI, and the MACD. We finally are getting a weekly MACD crossover. This is why I think we're like, this is it. And it's a lower high, right? We still need to see first. Like, look, it's putting in a lower high. Look at the RSI, right? Look at the weekly RSI. We said it. We said, guys, we want to look for the bounce to see if we can put in a lower high. The daily chart was low. The weekly chart's high. If the daily chart is low, right, which it was, where did we say it at? We were looking for the bounce back here. It was 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Whatever. Here, we said it. I know members will say it. They were here. At least we said, let's see if we can take the RSI. We're low. We're overbought or oversold. Let's see if we can get that bounce to put in a higher low. We're going to go to the upside, put in a higher low to see if we're actually going to get some downside or not. The only reason I have to be bullish or bearish is that we have rates, and we're starting to see that this data is coming in a little hot, so maybe the Fed has to raise. Maybe. That doesn't mean that they have. Until they have, and we start seeing it in the CME predictions, then it's like, okay, this is just a thought. But earnings were a beat. The job labor is still good. The labor market is still on fire. That means people have money to spend, right? We're only trading at like 18 on the SPY. We're only trading at it's like 18 times earnings, believe it or not. So, I think right now it's going to be weird. What do I think right now with the SPY? It's like, do we bounce? Do we bounce? Or can we break this level and find support back at 441 and bring this RSI right here to put in a what? A higher low to maybe make an attempt, and then we get into just to buy time for something to happen. Maybe the rates catch up. I don't know. And then we sell off. I'm just reading what's in front of me. We're already putting in a lower high. So why can't we pull it back to put in a higher low? And kind of just put in this pennant, which it looks like the SPY is putting in somewhat of a pennant here. So maybe we see the S&P's back here at 329 in the next 2 weeks. But we'll see. Like I said, let's just take it day by day, chart by chart. So let's go into sorry guys to go down that road. I just want to help people be able to read charts and do maybe you just aren't doing this and you start to do it and you can see how it'll help you with the direction. Right? It'll help you with the direction because everybody has the same charts. Everybody has the same indicators. Everybody has just about the same tools, right? Everybody has the internet, so you could at least see what's going on. But most people can't make money. And that's what I'm trying to do here is help you guys make money. Right? I don't think enough people do these type of things. Why did I call JP Morgan out? If you don't know and you're just joining us, guys, I called JP Morgan out back here. You still had a lot of day left, boom, boom. And I said, this was the range I did. I did this range right there. It's all right. They know in chat. They got everyone in chat. My people, my day ones, they know. And I said, I'm looking to get to the top side of the range. What also do we have at the top side of the range? We have the 50-day. What did we just do? We just bounced off the 100-day. And what? What else? We're oversold. Of course we're going to bounce. Look at the weekly chart. Right? This is what brought me there. So, do we continue to get a little bit of a bounce to, if this is going to happen, right? To put in a lower high. Because we need to pull it back to bring buyers in. This is going to bring in sellers, right? A lower high is going to bring in sellers. And, depending on there's a lot of different things that institutions use, whether to buy a stock or sell a stock. Remember, higher rates, banks should be doing better. Higher interest rates should actually help banks, not hurt them. They should be making more money, not less. So, what do you have? This is a daily chart. We have not tested this base up here. You haven't retested that base. So if we start to get to the upside at 152.60, 152.50, all right, 153, I want to see if we start to, which we're going to pull it back. I want to see if I can get long off the 9 EMA. I want to see if I can get long on the 9 EMA. I want to see if I can get long right here. That's where I'm going to be looking to take an entry. Right? I got it, and I said, I get a pullback on JP Morgan, I'm getting long. I forgot. I completely forgot about it. Right? I forgot about it this day, because you'd have seen me come on here talking about Friday or Thursday, taking profits. I just forgot about it. It happens. I'm human. Right? This is why they use computers. They say, hey, this is where I want to buy. They literally just type it in the computer, and it does what it says it. Maybe I could have put in a limit order. But if I'm playing options, because I know a lot of members play options, I don't know what those prices are going to be offhand. It would take me a little bit. So I just forgot. It is what it is. Sorry, my watch is fooling with me. So I'm going to be watching JP Morgan to see if I'm able to get another pullback. I hope there's not so much strength in this that I don't get it. I want 145. I want 145. I don't know if I'll get it. I still think 147 is the entry. I'm okay with getting in at 147. If we pull back to 147, I will be long JP Morgan. I promise. So be there. Come join us. Decide for yourself what it is that you want to do. And we get that pullback to 147. I will be buying. Not sure if you will be. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But, that is a resistance support area. So, I want to see if we get our retest. I can probably, no, I don't want to take that box away because it's helpful. It's really helpful when you guys have, stuff like that to tell you that that's the range and you can really depend on it. I said it. I said, guys, we're going to the top side of the range. This is where I put it. You gapped up pre-market above it a little bit, but damn near to a T. So I want to see if we can pull this thing back down to 147.50 to 147. I'm going to be looking to be a buyer. We went through Nvidia, right? Did we go through Nvidia yet? I think even if you get like a gap down on Nvidia, I want to wait and see if we can get a pullback and get short again at 444. But let's make sure, right? So we're going to start from, I don't have a monthly chart. I do have it on, whatchamacallit. I actually do have it on TradingView, but I don't feel like going on the web here. So it did pull back. We actually might get a bounce. It's just so strong. This is a weird chart. It just, if you want to start seeing this thing weak, maybe it puts in like another like lower high, like a lower high. So maybe we could get a bounce like for longer term price action for it to pull back and actually make sense to bring in buyers. As I thought, it's a little oversold. See, as me reading that weekly chart, I can see that the daily chart, it's probably a bit oversold, and it is. It's at 41. It's at 41. Do you see how I can see these things and like say, hey, just literally actually looking and understanding what's going on in front of you. It's so important. Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys could hit that like button. So these are the trade ideas that I have. We have a bit of a support range here, right? This chart's pretty ugly, but your pivot high right here. If I draw a line right here, you have, it's a median. It's an area. Really, I wouldn't call it there. I would call it this here, but you've broken it. We've broken this resistance and support area. So what's next? Right? What's next to come in? I'm thinking 429. That's but I still feel like we get a bounce. I want to bounce to 444. Right? It's a few dollars, but I still want to see if we get a bounce. What else do we have? You have the 50-day moving average. Right? You have this 50-day moving average that's sitting right here. I don't know why it does that on me. Let me zoom into it and get it going. And this is Nvidia. I'm going to look at something different. Like I think Nvidia gave us our move and we need to go look at something else. All right, let's go to like Amazon or Google. Nvidia's just, it made its move Friday, and I think it's going to need a little time. It's not going to give you opportunity. Amazon. I know it sucks going through the weekly chart, like starting from even the monthly to weekly to daily. You want to look at the bigger picture and then look in, right? You want to know that the earth is a sphere and not a square or something first. You want to know where the land is before where the ocean is, so you know where to land and where not to land. So weekly charts, pretty overbought. Obviously look at that tail that came in on Friday. So if you would have seen these things, you could have said, man, it's only a matter of time before Amazon gets hit. Even though it had great earnings. I'm looking. You have not made 135.60, the high 135 support. You haven't made it support. I mean, I guess in a way, if you want to call it here, right? If you want to call that 136.95, 137 support, that's fine. But look at the resistance. It gapped up and then sold off, right? Resistance, support, resistance, and Amazon just being goofy. I feel like this area, 135.50 area, 135.60 could be, I feel like it should pull back in and retest that area. But we'll see. You have a break and retest. As of right now, you have a break and retest, but we're overbought. So do we get a small bounce? Here's my guess for Amazon, right? We get a small bounce Monday into Tuesday. A small bounce. right? I'm talking like a bounce to like 141, 141.50. Let's go bring it in. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. So, and you can see how oversold it is, right? Like I'm saying, I think we get a bounce, but a small one. I think you get a bounce to where it's like, you do have a break and retest here, right? This pivot high. But again, the weekly, the daily, longer term, this thing is overbought. Institutional ownership is not going to step in and buy this and back your long up. You want to have institutional order flow at your back so that you actually get a good 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% move. You want them behind your back so that they're also adding liquidity, bidding it up, right? Bidding it down, whatever direction you're looking for. So I would like to see a small bounce here. A small bounce that's actually shortable. I mean, it could be as shortable as to right here, right? You've broken right back here. I'd look for 140.50, 140.70 to be resistance, right? So it held it. That's 140.80. Maybe it does get back up to 142. I would look for 142 to be resistance, and I can get rid of a lot of this stuff that's on my chart. I would look for that. I think that's too big, though. I think that's too big of a bounce. It's only $1. That's only $1, so that's not bad. That's not too bad. I can hang with that. Look at the volume, guys. Right? You want that, and look at this volume. Because when you get volume like that, look at the movement. Bang. Look at this. Look at that volume, and then bang. This is what you want. And this is what draws them is the fact that this thing has been oversold. And they got it to that area and said, boop. There wasn't no reason to sell off, right? There was no reason to sell off Friday other than the technical reasons to sell off. If you guys have anything, D-SPAC, if you guys could, does anything you guys are watching or having any trade ideas on again? Oh, silver. I don't want to forget that one for you guys. Nobody's really looking at SLV, or at least I haven't seen anyone really talk about it. But let's. Oh, did I already fool with this thing? Let's see what I did here. I apparently forgot about this thing. What's going on here? I definitely did something with it. Okay. So it tried to break out of that downtrend, and that's a failed breakout, it feels like, and it's going to crack this level here. So you have a triple bottom here. Guys, I didn't put this here before the thing. This has been here. I didn't even know that this was going to be there. Wow, so it did hold that level. I don't think it gets much higher. I don't think it gets much higher. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go to... man, that's actually not bad. So... volume sucks. This is something you might want to just short outright or buy outright, depending on the area. So, guys, look at that tail. That's important. Look at it hold that 50-day. Do you see that? Look at it. Look at that tail. Boom, it sold off, bought right back. Did not break the 50-day. Did not break it. You know what that means? That means the majority of this volume is buying and not selling. Yes, it closed red. But the majority of that buying is green, not red. What else do we have? You have a pennant here. You have a nice little pennant there. So that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't know if I should leave that or what. Maybe this could come down a little bit. Right? Is this what's going on here? Right? Can you guys see how it's like now it's starting to like bounce off here and like, is it going to start trying to turn up? Is this thing going to turn up on the weekly? Let's go to a daily. Oh, I thought I kind of was on a daily. Shit. Um. So I thought I was on a daily. Shit. It is oversold. It is a bit oversold, which is good. You have a really clear resistance area here at $21. You break above 21, look for a 50-cent move to the 50-day. 100 days, they're kind of just, they're all right there together. So this thing is just it's not even worth looking at. I mean, I would go long, but I would have a stop. I wouldn't go long right here. I'd get long on like a nice pullback. You've missed the long. That long trade is gone. But again, you need to really see what, you see this pennant here. Boom. This is the uptrend, right? Stick in the uptrend, right? Stick in that downtrend. Breaks it. Tries to bounce and hold it, right? And then it's like, it's trying to connect to this uptrend and hold the uptrend to start moving higher. So we'll watch. See if it's going to go in between here and start breaking out. Is this the turnaround for silver? Let's see. I'm saying it right now. Is this the turnaround for silver? Could be, guys. Could be. It's, I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't, right? The upside, you're looking at 22 flat. If you can break above whatever level this is, right? If you can, this is a nice chart for newbies, like for anybody that's new. This is clear resistance support. Resistance support that's clear. It's not like wicks and all kinds of stuff. This is an easy trade. 21, 27 area, 21, 28-ish, right? You get, I'm not telling you what to do, but you would look to see if you can get long to break through it or get short at it. And if it breaks it, okay, you're out. Like if it's not as simple as that, because you got to be able to be educated enough to know, hey, I have this that supports the break, there's a little bit. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do. But as a person who has been looking at charts for a long time, this is a well-defined chart that could be easy for someone who's new. You have clear resistance here at this level, right here. And if you break above this, right, you go long. It'll pull back and hold it as support, right? Because if it's resistance and it can't break it, it breaks it. It drops back. They buyers step in there. Now it's holding it and it goes up. Simple as that. So it breaks up. It pulls back. You get long right at that prior resistance. Those sellers are now buyers, right? So, NVIDIA, I went over that. I went over JP Morgan. Little double bottom here on Bank of America. I'm kind of just going through charts. If you guys have anything, thank you guys for hitting that like button. It's greatly appreciated. I was going to say, did my camera... Alright. So, I know it's getting a little late. I will have more tomorrow. We can look at the China ADRs. What is this? Bank of America. I'm going to be watching the banks. Like, Bank of America's, I get a pullback. If I get the opportunity... Guess what? For whoever's stuck around, you're in luck. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Look at this, guys. All right? Look at this. And I was just about to say, hey, if I get a pullback to 28, I'm going long, bruh. Right? Look at that. There's your reverse head and shoulders. I was looking at this RSI like, hey, if I can get this thing back down to 38.8, 38.8, I'm getting long. I'm getting long. There's an island reversal, and guess what? Not an island reversal, but a reverse head and shoulders. Look at that clear resistance. Look at that, clear as day, guys. Clear as day resistance. Look at that neckline. It does not get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better. You will not find anything that clear. That is about as clear as you can get it. I can't delete that because that could be support. So I'm looking at an island reversal on Bank of America. And look at the 100-day. So I'm going to look to see if we can pull back. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let's see. And you have the 100-day. Look at the 100-day. The 100-day is the neckline. The 100-day is your neckline. Holy shit. Whoever stayed on the live, you just got a present. So we'll look to get short. And we're going to look to see if we can get a bounce right back down into this area. That's pretty. We might get some. We might get a. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm gonna post this actually. I might have to share this on Twitter. Wow. All right, so I'll put that on Twitter later on. Um, yeah. So yes. And then we can go through like some other ones, but that's all I have right now, guys. I'm going to be watching big cap tech, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. I'm going to be watching small caps. This chart is a mess. Baba is not looking good. So, guys, more importantly, besides understanding how to read charts and everything, please understand what your emotional state is. Take a step back and look at yourself saying, am I rushing? Do I have, what was I late to the job? Like I had things to do, you know, I'm not trading just to trade. You know, are you trading just to trade? Because if you are and you're trying to rush through and maybe a stock is just consolidating, taking time, you go to look at something else and then you miss it, right? You know, just go back and watch, write down, keep a journal because I'm telling you, go watch me Friday. Go watch my last live stream from Friday. Literally, it's 10-15 minutes. The first 10-15 minutes, you see how I am and like what's going on and I missed Nvidia because I went to Tesla because I thought there was volume and I thought that's where the movement was, and then there goes Nvidia because the prior day Nvidia consolidated and just needed a little time. You know, they don't just go straight, stocks don't go straight up and straight down. They consolidate and then they make movements. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Listen, join us in chat. Give us a shot. Give me a shot. There's a lot of things that I can help you guys understand, that like just what I look for, right? This is not a 100% thing. This is not financial advice. This is just, you know, coming in to saying, all right, what's our news? What do we think of it? Maybe you bring me some trades and I throw you back a steak, you know, whatever. We're all here to feed and eat together. Not feed, but so anyway, I was not surprised by Friday. I don't want to say it. As bad as I do, I don't want to say it. There's a lot of things that I like look for, right? You know, and I just want to give them to my members that come in every day and like and stuff like that. And it's really good, useful information and stuff. But it's like, I'll just say it. We had some decent likes today, so I appreciate it. Listen, you should always look for at least one day during the week to give you some nice follow through. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we were flat, and I said, I'm not going to be surprised today if we finally get a little bit of volume and get movement. At least one day during the week. Doesn't mean it's all the time, but more times than not, you should at least get one day a week where you get some good, nice, good follow through. I'm not, you know, so it didn't surprise me. I said, if we are going to get that one day where we get follow through and there's some big movements, it's going to be today, or we're not going to get it. Right? Go back and look on the daily, whatever, and you'll notice on a 15, 20 minute, half hour, it's always usually been on Thursdays, but like, okay, it happened on Friday. Was it because of Lehman Brothers closing down? It's the 15th anniversary or something like that from the day that Lehman closed and shut its doors, right? So maybe they held off and said, we're going to, in spite of Lehman, we're going to just have a risk off type of day in memory of Lehman, So it's just, not saying that's why, maybe it wasn't. But again, at the end of the day, all that stuff aside, I was expecting at least one day. I look for that one day at least throughout the week. We get one good day in the overall markets, and we got it. That's why I wasn't surprised with Friday. So we didn't get it Monday. Well, really, we didn't get it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I was Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I was like, okay, maybe we don't get it, but we just got a shitload of data. Especially when you have retail sales, CPI, PPI, industrial production, and everyone else is getting interest rates and all this stuff. You got all this data, and you don't get no movement, no volume. I would have been really more surprised if we didn't move Friday. Then I'd been like, yo, what is going on? Like, then I would have been worried. I love you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. If you could, hit this like button. Guys, come join us in the morning. I'm going to get my sleep. We'll wake up, see what type of news we got. We got GM, Ford, them, closing their doors. You could look at, there's another one that I was looking at earlier. I was running through some semiconductors, Intel, right? INTC. It's got a pretty nice pattern on it. Look at that break and retest of the double top there. The thing is, it's oversold or overbought. This is why I didn't bring it up, because it's overbought. But let's go to the weekly chart. That's where it might matter, where you could see a little bit of bounce. It's kind of a nice chart, kinda. Right? You broke above the 100 weekly moving average. So, I kind of want to see if see how it's starting to roll itself over, and you put, that tail like curled it down. Let's see if it might try and hold here. It might try and hold and pop itself back up. All right? Maybe it does bounce. But I don't think it bounces before it has a pullback. Right? I know it's really small. I know you guys probably can't see it on your phone and stuff, right? But I'm going to make it bigger. So, right? So let's see if we can get this thing to get a bounce. But look at the daily, right? This is a construed chart. It's a little iffy. It's not that it's iffy. It's like, it's not the best thing in the world, right? You can see here. Look at this RSI. Look. 74. Look at this one. 72. Look at this one. 71. Lower highs or higher lows. Lower highs, I mean. All right. So let's see if we can get a pullback into this previous double top. Right. This whole area of like 37, low 37s. That's where I would look to get a pullback on Intel. This is why you want to cover your grounds and say, okay, I want to be long or short. Like, you need to know relative strength and things of that nature. You need to know what's going on the long-term charts, because that's how that's how the big boys are going to be playing. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. That's how they're taking your money, because you don't look at these things. You're not understanding fully the trend, the lower high or the higher low, and where things are on a longer-term time frame to help tell you, okay, we're going to get a bounce, but let's see if this bounce gets rejected. So you go long. If you're in options, you're not trying to get your timing right, but you're getting long pullbacks as it's pulling back. Okay, you're getting long, and you're getting time. You're getting a month out. You're getting 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, depending on the chart. Because you're not, you're not just. It's just not going to do it in a day. Unless you wait for the actual move. Then. But you can get more out. You can make more money by getting time. Don't sacrifice price for time. All right, don't sacrifice price for time, because 20% on 400 is better than 20% on $60, right? I'd rather have 20% on $1,000 than I would 20% on $60, $50. hell, 100 or 200, right? So think about that. And it's not going to be as volatile, right? It's not going to be as volatile on you. That's all I have, guys. Thank you so much, guys. I'm trying my hardest, and I'm going to deliver. I'm going to help deliver so we can all eat. All right? At least have a place that you can come to, come up with ideas, ask questions. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Um, I'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you guys for joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. If you enjoyed, if you thought anything that I was doing was useful and could help someone, because if you like it and subscribe, it'll obviously send it on down the road. And I'm excited for this week. I'm going to be looking for some opportunity this week. 34 looks real juicy for Intel, actually. Look at that 34 level. So thank you guys. Have a great